Last year, a film came out called Monkey Man. And as I was watching it, I kept thinking, well, there's a little bit of false advertising. I see a man, I don't see a monkey. What's going on? Well, the director of The Greatest Showman, Michael Gracie, heard my silent pleas for a film about a literal monkey man, and he brought it to the table. And he even took it a step further. Not only does this monkey man fight, he sings, and he's based on a true story. Let's talk about Better Man. Before I give you my thoughts on this movie, if you wouldn't mind just going ape shit for a couple seconds on that subscribe, just smacking the crap out of it, making sure these videos show up in your feed in the future. I would appreciate it. British pop superstar Robbie Williams is a big deal. Don't believe me? Just ask him, he'll tell you. And it's with that hubris that he was able to rise to the top of stardom, and he was also able to make a movie where he is played by a CG ape. That's ballsy. Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. This sounded like a terrible time at the movies. Not only is it a musical, based on a true story about a mega famous, super rich dude who throws it away for drugs, sex, and rock and roll, this is my least favorite subgenre imaginable when it comes to drama films. I am so uninterested in stories about musicians who fall into the dark places and we get to watch them climb out. It's just not that interesting, and it's always the same. So for Robbie Williams and company to go out there and say, listen, I'm not even gonna be in this movie in human form. Instead, I'm straight up an ape. That's bananas, pun intended, but it worked. That's the big takeaway. This movie takes big chances, and it got big results from me. A person who is jaded going in for a movie that's over 2 hours long, features a bunch of music from a dude that I haven't really listened to, but after watching the movie, we'll be listening to a lot more because he's got some bangers. But this is the type of movie you create to repel me. Instead, it drew me in with each and every single passing second. What we have here is an R-rated film that has plenty of drug use, plenty of rock and roll, and some occasional sexual scenes. If you're wondering if there's any ape-on-woman action, no, it does not go that far, thankfully. It has the decency to not Brian Griffin this thing outright. Of course, it's implied plenty of times, but let's get back on track. We are in January, notoriously the month where you drop all the bad trash outside on the curb to get picked up because Oscar season's over, all the money has been spent for the Christmas releases and everything else. Now is where we start from scratch. But Better Man's kind of a cheat code because it actually came out last year. It's getting a wide release now this weekend. And so I'm starting the year on a positive note. That is incredible. After reflecting with 4 different top 10 videos, I'm finally able to get back into the saddle with some good old-fashioned movie reviews, and we start out strong in 2025. Now, if you're a big fan for Robbie Williams, this is definitely the movie for you. It features a lot of his great songs. You have dance numbers. The musical moments in this movie are phenomenal. Not only do we transition seamlessly from inside buildings to outside in the streets, hopping on cars, going back through other businesses, but we go artsy with it at times. There is a brilliant scene later where Robbie takes his car off the side of the road and into the water. While he's down there, we have a Jaws-esque shot, a feeding frenzy, but instead of sharks attacking him, it's a bunch of fans, a bunch of women grasping at anything they can to pull this man down. It's executed so well because they are swimming and it's intense and it does look like a feeding frenzy of sharks. There are creative elements like that throughout the film. Now, it does have the things I do hate about these types of movies, the drug use, spending time watching him rebuild himself. Because it's done in such a fascinating way, I didn't mind it. Knowing nothing about Robbie Williams, I also appreciate that they don't paint him out to be this perfect person. In fact, he's incredibly damaged, outright terrible at times. It's gonna dive into his bad relationship with his father, his loving relationship with his grandma, and just his overall passion for the spotlight. From a visual standpoint, it looks really good. We have a CG character in pretty much every scene of this film, and he feels like he's there. They do have a little bit of a filter going on top of this thing that gives it a bit of an old school flavor. And I think that helps pull the elements together better. Now, it is rated R, which is kind of a bummer because it does alienate some younger people from enjoying this one. I would say teens and up are fine to go to this. It doesn't go like anywhere too crazy by any means, but there's a little bit of sexuality going on, a little bit of violence here and there, and there's a solid amount of swearing throughout. I just can't stress enough how little I wanted to see this movie. I was in my car in the parking lot at 8:30 p.m. on a Thursday night, knowing this movie is 2 hours and 15 minutes long. I know Regal, they like to have 30 minutes of trailers, so this film's not firing up until 9. Which means I'm not getting out of there till after 11, which means I'm not getting home till midnight. This is not my ideal type of movie to go watch to review because I'm not excited for it, but damn it was I happy coming out. I really like this movie. I highly recommend it. Even if you're not a fan of Robbie Williams, there is enough to appreciate, I think, as long as you can tolerate musicals. And in that sense, this isn't a musical in the same way as like Grease or even Wicked. There are songs, but there is a lot of downtime between them. And there is emotion here. That's a key element that I think people are forgetting movies should be having once in a while when they talk about some of the greatest ones out there. I felt things for this film. I felt for the characters. I got emotional at multiple different times in this film. It does a great job telling us the story of this guy, which may be familiar compared to a lot of other artists, but because it's uniquely done, it gives it an identity. And I respect the hell for the swings they took with this thing. This could have fallen on its face so damn hard, but they executed it so well, I can't help but just appreciate the thing up and down. A very good start to the new year. Very happy I went out and saw it. Let me know if you've seen it already. Please leave a comment below, like the video, and subscribe if you haven't. I post movie reviews, rants, live streams every single week. It's all movie related all the time. I would appreciate you sticking around. Thanks again for watching the video. If you wouldn't mind, I would appreciate it if you checked out patreon.com/AdamDoesMovies. That's where fans of my channel go to help support it. There are different tiers with different offerings, exclusives every month. We got multiple movie reviews. There's a vlog monthly, and these fine people get a shout out because they're at the upper tier level. Look at these gorgeous folks. They have really gone above and beyond to help support me in the channel, and I appreciate them. And even if you don't want to plop down $1 a month, you can just sign up for Patreon for free and become a member at no charge, just to see what's showing up at least and give you a better sense of it all. Appreciate your time. Thanks.